Hello viewers, I'm Taran Kumar Goonwal, Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. The following video is prepared as per the syllabus and course outline of Maharshi Dayanand University. However, there are mostly general topics which cover the working and theoretical aspects of civil engineering. For best understanding and conceptualizing clearly, please do not skip the video and watch till end. At the end of each topic and each section, we will be discussing about the related important questions, feasibility and application. Let's start the video.
Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's session, we'll continue with the design of isolated and other types of footings, and also we'll discuss about the general design considerations involved. So first is footing shape and size. The shape of footing is determined such that the center of gravity of footing coincides with the resultant of the loads and of the base of columns or walls supported by it, so that the soil bearing pressure has uniform intensity. तो जो फुटिंग की शेप है वो इस तरीके से डिटरमिन की जाती है कि जो सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी ऑफ फुटिंग है वो जो भी लोड आने वाला है उसके साथ कोइंसाइड करे, बहुत ज्यादा एसेंट्रिसिटी ना हो. The size of the footing is determined such that the soil bearing pressure does not exceed its allowable value. तो साइज इस तरीके से बनाना चाहिए ताकि जो सॉइल बेयरिंग प्रेशर है वो अपनी अलाउएबल वैल्यू से बाहर ना जाए. The loads considered for determining footing sizes are service load, as the allowable bearing capacity of soil is considered in contrast to the strength design, which considers ultimate load and ultimate bearing capacity of soil. And this is because the safety of footing is provided by overall safety factor of 2.5 to 3.0 applied to the ultimate bearing capacity of soil to limit settlement within the tolerable limits. तो इसीलिए जो सेफ्टी है फुटिंग की वो ओवरऑल सेफ्टी फैक्टर 2.5 to 3 रखा जाता है ताकि सॉइल की बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी मेंटेन रहे और जितना भी सेटलमेंट हो वो अलाउएबल लिमिट्स के अंदर ही हो. नेक्स्ट इज डेप्थ ऑफ फाउंडेशन एंड इट्स स्पेसिंग. The depth of foundation is determined by Rankine's formula as follows, which is given by D is equals to Q multiplied by 1 minus sine phi multiplied by 1 plus sine phi, and this value is squared divided by WE, where D is depth of foundation, Q is bearing capacity of soil, WE is unit weight of soil, and phi is angle of recoil of soil. The depth of foundation shall be such that it is placed on soil strata of good bearing capacity. It shall be placed below the topsoil or organic materials, unconsolidated material such as filled up soil, and soil subjected to seasonal volume changes caused by alternate wetting and drying cycles. तो जो फाउंडेशन है वो टॉप सॉइल के नीचे, ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल्स के नीचे और अनकंसोलिडेटेड मटेरियल के नीचे होनी चाहिए. इसके अलावा जिस भी सॉइल में वॉल्यूमेट्रिक चेंजेस होते हैं सीजनल साइकिल्स की वजह से उसके भी नीचे फाउंडेशन को ले करना चाहिए. जनरली दिस डेप्थ डज नॉट एक्सीड मोर देन 1 meter except in few clay soil such as black cotton soil which exhibit high volume changes with variation in moisture content depth of about 4 meter. Therefore the base of footing in black cotton soil shall be normally placed below a depth of 4 meter. तो अभी तक जो हमने केसेस डिस्कस करे उस केस में 1 meter की डेप्थ एनफ है, पर ब्लैक कॉटन सॉइल के केस में 4 meter की डेप्थ देनी पड़ती है मिनिमम, क्योंकि जो ब्लैक कॉटन सॉइल है वो काफी ज्यादा वॉल्यूम चेंज एग्जिबिट करती है. The regions where temperature goes down below the freezing point, the damage of footing and superstructure is caused by frost action due to volume expansion and contraction of water in the soil. Therefore, the base of footing shall be placed at a level which is not affected by the frost action. In permafrost condition, soil up to a depth of thaw level is permanently frozen and the surface thaws during warm weather only. This occurs when the average annual temperature is less than the freezing temperature. Under such conditions, the base of footing is provided below the thaw level. तो टेम्परेचर कंडीशंस में भी इस तरह की, जैसे कि हमने डिस्कस किया, थॉ लेवल के नीचे फुटिंग दी जाती है. Footings on sloping ground shall have adequate edge distance from the sloping ground for protection against erosion, as shown in this figure. The difference in the depth of footings shall not be so large so as to introduce undesirable overlapping of spaces in soil and disturbances of soil under the footing at higher depth due to excavation for the lower footing. And this is achieved by limiting the maximum difference in the depth of footing. So, अगर कोई स्लोपिंग ग्राउंड है तो ये जो ग्राउंड और फुटिंग का बेस है इसके बीच में कंसिडरेबल डिस्टेंस होना चाहिए ताकि कोई भी इरोजन हो तो वो जो फुटिंग है उसको इरोड ना कर पाए. और उसी तरीके से अगर कोई स्ट्रेट ग्राउंड है और हमें एक फुटिंग ले करनी है तो उस केस में हमें बहुत ज्यादा नीचे फुटिंग का जो बेस लेवल है वो बहुत ज्यादा नीचे नहीं सेट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर हम एक फुटिंग को बहुत नीचे बेस लेवल पर सेट करेंगे तो उस केस में बहुत ज्यादा अननेसेसरी स्ट्रेसेस डेवलप होंगे जो कि फाउंडेशन को डैमेज कर सकते हैं. इसके अलावा अगर कोई बाद में कोई नई फाउंडेशन डलती है जो कि कंपैरेटिवली शैलो डेप्थ पे है तो ये भी उसको अफेक्ट करेगी. देन थिकनेस ऑफ फुटिंग. In case of reinforced concrete footing, thickness shall be adequate to resist moments as singly reinforced balance sections and shear without shear reinforcement, except in cases where the thickness is restricted, which necessitates the use of shear reinforcement design for moment as doubly reinforced section. Usually, the thickness of footing is governed by shear than moment. तो क्योंकि shear और moment दोनों को consider करके हमें thickness design करनी चाहिए और यूजुअली जो शेयर है उसी की वैल्यू ज्यादा होती है मोमेंट के कंपैरिजन में. थिकनेस की जो वैल्यू है वो शेयर से जब हम चेक करते हैं तो ज्यादा बड़ा सेक्शन होता है, इसलिए यूजुअली शेयर ही गवर्निंग फैक्टर होता है. हाउएवर द थिकनेस ऑफ फुटिंग शैल बी डिटरमिन्ड बेस्ड ऑन मोमेंट्स एंड शेयर एंड द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू शैल बी अडॉप्टेड. तो जो भी मैक्सिमम हो हमें वो अडॉप्ट करनी होती है. द थिकनेस ऑफ फुटिंग फॉर रेजिस्टिंग अल्टीमेट डिजाइन मोमेंट एज सिंगली reinforced balance section is determined as this formula. D is equals to mu max upon 0.36 FCKB multiplied by XUL upon D multiplied by 1 minus 0.416 XUL upon D, and this value is rooted when where mu max is maximum ultimate design moment per unit length, XUL upon D is coefficient of depth of neutral axis as balance section, and the formula given is for XUL upon D is 0.0035 upon 0.0055 plus 0.87 by ES. The effective thickness of footing for resisting shear without shear reinforcement is obtained by equating the ultimate shear stress in footing with the shear capacity of the section as follows. For footing subjected to one-way shear, tau UV max is equals to tau UC into K. And tau UV max can be written as VU max upon V naught D, and K tau UC will be as it is. So from this we'll find the value of D by transposing the values. So we get D is equals to VU max upon V naught K tau UC, where VU max is maximum ultimate one-way shear, K tau C is ultimate shear strength of concrete in footing in one-way shear, and tau UC is shear strength of concrete in beam. K is factors given in this table, and V naught is length of critical section of one-way shear. So for the thickness of footing which are greater than or equal to 300, K value is 1. For thickness of footing which is greater than or equal to 275, then the value is 1.05, and likewise. तो जो भी वैल्यू 300 या उससे ज्यादा होगी तो K की वैल्यू 1 होगी, अगर 275 होगी तो 1.05, और अगर कोई मिड में वैल्यू है तो इंटरपोलेट करके हम उसकी वैल्यू फाइंड कर लेंगे. अगर वैल्यू लेस देन और इक्वल टू 150 है, then we'll take the value of K as 1.3. Now for footing subjected to two-way shear, tau UV max is given by Ks multiplied by tau UC. Again substituting the values here in terms of VU max and upon V naught D. So we get Ks upon tau UC. So by again transposing the elements on the RHS, we get the value of D as VU max upon V naught Ks tau UC, where VU max is ultimate punching or two-way shear. Ks tau UC is ultimate shear strength of concrete and footing in two-way shear, and tau UC is 0.25 under root FCK Newton per mm square. Ks is 0.5 plus beta c, and this value should be less than equal to 1. And beta c is a ratio of shorter side to the longer side of the column. So B naught is perimeter of critical section of two-way shear. Then the total thickness of footing shall be obtained by adding effective cover to the effective thickness of the footing. So total thickness के लिए effective cover और effective thickness दोनों हमें ऐड करनी है footing में. The clear cover to the reinforcement bars shall not be less than 40 mm or dia of bar, whichever is more. The thickness of footing at the edge may be reduced, which shall not be less than 150 mm. तो edge पे footing की thickness reduce करनी होनी चाहिए, पर वो 150 mm से कम नहीं होनी चाहिए. When the load on column or wall is small, plain concrete footing may be provided. अगर कम लोड की जरूरत है तो reinforced section देने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. Such a footing is also known as pedestal. It is usually a solid rectangular unreinforced concrete block supported by a small area of soil and subjected to bending moments and shear force of small magnitude caused by soil bearing pressure. The stresses induced in concrete is small, which is resisted without reinforcement. The depth of pedestal can be determined based on dispersion of internal pressure as follows. तो अगर जो हमारे पास वॉल या कॉलम है, अगर उससे कम लोड आने वाला है, तो उस केस में हम एक अनरीइंफोर्स्ड फुटिंग देते हैं, जिसको बोला जाता है पेडेस्टल. तो उसकी डेप्थ निकालने के लिए फॉर्मूला है ये d is equals to 0.5 into L minus I into tan alpha, where tan alpha should be less than or equal to 0.9 into 1 plus 100 P upon FCK, and this value is under root. P is calculated maximum bearing pressure at the base of pedestal in Newton per mm square, and alpha is angle between the plane passing through the bottom edge of footing and the corresponding junction edge of the column with footing and the horizontal plane as shown in figure. So this value is L here. This is the depth of foundation D, and this is capital L. And this is the angle alpha as we discussed. Soil pressure is P. Now reinforcement design and detailing. So detailings of reinforcement is made as follows. First is reinforcement for moments. The area of steel shall be provided for maximum moments and extended along the span with necessary curtailments. तो जो भी मैक्सिमम मोमेंट की वैल्यू होगी उसके लिए हमें reinforcement प्रोवाइड करनी होती है. It shall not be less than 0.12% for high strength deformed bars or 0.15% for mild steel of gross area of section in each of the two directions of footing. तो जो इस वैल्यू है हमेशा 0.12 से कम नहीं होगी. इसके अगर हाई स्ट्रेंथ डिफॉर्म बार्स हैं, और 0.15% अगर माइल्ड स्टील है. The detailing of reinforcement shall be made as those for slabs or beams. तो reinforcement detailing और slabs और beams की तरह ही होगी इसमें भी. The requirement for development length shall be satisfied at all locations. The changes in section of reinforcement occur such as at the edges of pedestal or where part of reinforcement is terminated. Next is reinforcement for shears. No shear reinforcement is required if the shear stresses does not exceed the shear strength of concrete and footing. अगर shear induced shear stresses कंक्रीट की shear strength से ज्यादा नहीं है तो shear reinforcement देने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. In one way shear, the shear strength of concrete in footing is K times the shear strength of concrete in beam, where the value of K is given in table above, जो आप लोगों ने देखा था, depth versus K value. In the shear stresses, if the shear stress is tau uv at the critical section exceeds the shear strength of concrete, that is K tau uv, but less than the maximum shear strength with the shear reinforcement K tau uc max, then the shear reinforcement shall be provided up to a section where tau uv does not exceed K tau uc. तो इसको फैक्टर बना के इससे ज्यादा shear reinforcement देते हैं जब जो इसकी वैल्यू को एक्सीड ना कर पाए. The shear reinforcement shall be designed for resisting shear stress tau uv K tau uc. If tau uv exceeds K tau uc max, then footing shall be redesigned such that tau uv does not exceed K tau uc max. तो tau uv कभी भी K tau uc max को exceed नहीं करना चाहिए. अगर ऐसा होता है तो हमें redesign करना होता है. In two-way or punching shear, the ultimate shear strength of concrete is considerably higher than the ultimate shear strength in flexural action, that is tau uc, and it is obtained as K tau uc, where tau uc is 0.25 under root fck. Ks is 0.5 plus beta c, and this value should be less than equal to 1, and beta c is ratio of shorter side to longer side of column, as you know. So if the shear stress, that is tau uv, is less than the shear strength of concrete, that is Ks tau uc, no shear reinforcement is required. But if tau uv is greater than Ks tau uc but less than 1.5 Ks tau uc, अगर tau uv की वैल्यू Ks tau uc से ज्यादा है पर अगर हम इसको 1.5 गुना कर दें उससे कम है, then shear reinforcement will be provided up to a section where shear stress does not exceed 0.5 tau uc. While designing the shear reinforcement, shear stress carried by concrete is assumed to be 0.5 tau uc, and shear reinforcement shall carry the remaining shear. If the shear stress exceeds the value of 1.5 Ks tau uc, the footing shall be redesigned such that tau uv does not exceed 1.5 Ks tau uc. Now, provision of dowel bars. Axial force and bending moments acting at the bottom of the column are transferred to the footing at the bearing surface by compression in concrete and by reinforcement. तो बेंडिंग मोमेंट जो भी कॉलम के बॉटम पे एक्ट कर रहा होता है वो डायरेक्टली बेयरिंग की एक्शन से फाउंडेशन को ट्रांसफर होता है. इफ द कंप्रेशन इन कंक्रीट बेयरिंग एक्सीड्स their bearing capacity, then the compression in excess of the bearing capacity is transferred either by extending the column bars into the footing, a length equal to the development length of bar, or by providing dowels which are embedded into the footing and project vertically upward into the column. तो अगर जैसा कि अब हमने देखा कि अगर कंप्रेशन कंक्रीट कंप्रेशन की वैल्यू है वो बेयरिंग पे बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी बेयरिंग जो उसकी कंक्रीट कंप्रेशन है वो बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी को एक्सीड कर जाती है, तो जो कंक्रीट जो कॉलम में जो भी स्ट्रेसेस डेवलप हुए हैं वो ट्रांसफर होते हैं फुटिंग को, और उसको काउंटरैक्ट करने के लिए हमें कॉलम से ही जो बार्स हैं वो एक्सटेंड होते हुए जिसकी लेंथ डेवलपमेंट लेंथ के इक्वल होगी वो फुटिंग के अंदर जाएंगे, या फिर अगर ऐसा नहीं है तो ऐसा नहीं कर पाते हैं तो हमें डबल बार्स प्रोवाइड करने होंगे जो कि वर्टिकली अपवर्ड प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे होंगे फाउंडेशन से कॉलम में. When double bars are provided, the column bars rest on the footing or may be tied with the double bars. Minimum area of double bars shall not be less than 0.5% of cross-sectional area of column in order to ensure proper integrity of the column and footing at their junction. There shall not be less than 4 double bars of diameter, not exceeding the diameter of column bars by more than 3 mm. So minimum area of dowel bar should be more than or equal to 0.5% of gross cross-sectional area of column, और इसके अलावा 4 डबल बार से कम नहीं होने चाहिए, जिसका डायमीटर कॉलम के मैक्सिमम डाया से 3 mm से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. The length of double bars on both sides of bearing surface shall not be less than the development length of the bar. Column bars of diameter larger than 36 mm in compression can be doweled at the footing with bars of smaller dia of the same area as that of column bars. The dowel bars shall extend into the column a length equal to the development length of column bars, and into the footing a length equal to the development length of the dowel bar. Now we'll do a numerical on the same problem. So this is about design of a isolated footing. As you can see, it is a plain concrete square footing. So question goes like this: design a plain concrete square footing for 250 mm by 250 mm column subjected to an axial load of 500 kN at service state. तो 250 by 250 mm का कॉलम है और एक्शियल लोड जो एक्ट कर रहा है वो है 500 kN, and weight of soil is given as WE, that is 20 kN per meter cube. Angle of repose phi is given as 30 degree. Allowable bearing capacity of soil Q0 is 150 kN per meter square, and concrete of grade is M20 and steel of grade Fe415. So we'll move to the solution now. I will zoom in the video for ease. So first step is to determine depth of foundation, and as we discussed, it is given by this formula: Q0 upon WE multiplied by 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi whole square. So Q0 is given as 150, WE is given as 20, and the value of phi is 30 degrees. So the value comes out to be 0.833 meter, and it is almost equal to 1 meter. So the base of footing is located at a depth of 1 meter below soil, which is not subjected to seasonal volume changes caused by alternate wetting and drying cycles. इससे हमें फुटिंग का बेस पता चल गया जो कि 1 मीटर बिलो है सॉइल के. Then footing dimension, it is determined by the formula area of footing, which is given by L into B, and it is given by column load P plus assumed self fade or 0.1 P of footing and divided by Q0. So column load is P 150, assumed self weight 500 multiplied by 0.1 and divided by Q0. So this value comes out to be 3.667 meter square. So with this we get L into B as 3.667 meter square. This is the area. So because we have to design a square footing, so one dimension would be the root of this value, so it becomes 1.915 meter. So L equal to B is considered as 2 meter on safer side. Now next we'll find the thickness of footing. It is determined by considering that the stress induced in footing is resisted by concrete without reinforcement, and it is determined based on dispersion of internal pressure as follows. So क्योंकि हमें इसे अनरीइंफोर्स्ड बनाना है, इसलिए ये कंसिडर किया जाता है कि जो भी स्ट्रेस इंड्यूस हो रहे हैं वो कंक्रीट ही रेजिस्ट कर रहा है बिना रीइंफोर्समेंट के. तो इंटरनल प्रेशर के लिए हम इसको डिजाइन करते हैं, इंटरनल प्रेशर को कंसिडर करके थिकनेस डिजाइन करते हैं. सो इट इज गिवन बाय द फॉर्मूला D is equals to 0.5 B minus BW tan alpha, where tan alpha should not be less than 0.9 1 plus 100 PU upon FCK raised to the power 0.5, where PU is net upward ultimate soil pressure and which is given by load factor multiplied by column load upon area of footing. So load factor is 1.5, column load is 500, and which is divided by area of footing as 2 by 2. So the value comes out to be 187.5 kilonewton per meter square. So it will be 0.187 Newton per mm square. And the value of tan alpha, as we discussed, it should not be less than 0.9 multiplied by 1 plus 100. The value of Pu is 0.1875 and FCK is 20 as we know. So we get the value as 1.25. So value of tan alpha should not be less than 1.25. So this gives the value of D as this. So D should not be less than 0.5 multiplied by B minus BW, which is 0.25, and tan alpha, which came out to be 1.25. So the value of D should not be less than 1.094 meters. So let's consider the value of D not to be less than 1.1 meter. So the dimension of footing will be like this. In this direction it is 2, and in this direction it will be 2. This is the cover and the provided leveling course. And 1100 is the 1.1 meter is the height, and 250 is the width of column. So this is how our footing, isolated footing will look like. So this was all with today's session. In next lecture, we'll continue with this topic and do a few more numericals on some other types of foundations. Till then, keep studying. Have a great time. Thank you.
I hope you guys could understand and correlate the topics taught in today's session. If there is any query or subject matter issue, feel free to mail me at the given email ID. Live discussion sessions could also be used for discussion of doubts.